I'm Clarke Speaks, the catastrophic injury lawyer. Welcome to The Verdict. Again, most of the reason why people are fearful of these things is because they don't know what to expect. And so in that situation, we want to turn the lights on so they know exactly what to expect, so that they're prepared, so that they walk in not going, oh my gosh, what's this guy going to ask me? So they know, so when the question comes, they go, I knew you were going to ask me that. And here's the answer. And so we feel like if a person is prepared, then they'll be confident. If they're confident, they'll perform well. If they perform well, then we'll get the result that we want. And that's been our experience.
Got it. Sounds like to me that that'd be like me trying to play a basketball game against Caitlin Clarke. I would want a professional there like Angel Reese to go against me and help me, and not I wouldn't go into that match confident. That's for sure.
So I think that's right. I think so. To follow up on that question, I think that's the question that a lot of people ask: should I do this myself or should I hire a lawyer? Right? A lot of people ask that, and it seems like the more sophisticated a person is, the more likely they are to ask that question. Should I do this myself or should I hire? And I get it, because it's like maybe they do their own taxes, maybe they change their own oil, maybe they built a deck on the back of their house, and maybe they replace stuff on their car. And a lot of the people that we represent in our firm are very self-reliant kind of people. They don't really get unnecessary services or whatever, medical or otherwise. You know what I mean? And the reason is they don't have time. The reason is because, and you know this as a college athlete, and there are times when nobody cares if you're sick or tired or hurt or whatever. You got a game. You have school. You have responsibilities, and you have to do the things that you have to do. So I get why people have that mentality. And so people don't necessarily want to go to the doctor, and they want to go ahead and they want to resolve it themselves. The problem is that it is like you said, it's like playing basketball. It's like me playing basketball against Caitlin Clarke. It is not going to go well. It is like me playing volleyball against you. I've played volleyball before. I have a volleyball. My daughter loves volleyball. I've hit the ball with her back and forth. I played in high school. I mean, pickup games or in college or even law school. There's a volleyball court right in front of our. If I played you in volleyball, it would be a disaster, you know? And so it's the same thing. Like, these people do this all day, every day. The adjusters do it all day, every day. They understand the process. They know things that you don't know. They know how things work that you don't know. They can see things in medical records that you can't see. They can see things in accident reports that you can't see. You will see a series of numbers, and they can see liability, causation, contributory negligence. They see dollar signs. They can see things. This thing makes the value go down. This thing makes the value go up. And their job is to pay you the least amount of the money they can pay you to go away. My job, on the other hand, is to make sure that you get paid the fair value of what you should get paid, the most money that you could get paid under the circumstances. And so, people don't want to pay. People are like, okay, well, I just don't want to pay for something I don't need. And I get that. I would be exactly the same way. I am the same way, but I know that in my experience, I'm trying to think if there's an exception to this rule. I cannot think of an exception to the rule that if you get an attorney who knows what that attorney's doing and is good at, now maybe if you got a real estate attorney and you work for an injury case and but if you got a personal injury attorney after a personal injury matter who was good and dedicated and did a good job, I can't imagine a scenario where even after you paid for the attorney's fees, you wouldn't be better off than if you didn't do that. The only situation that comes to mind is where there's a limit. In other words, where your damages are here and the policy limit is here, and there's no way you're ever going to get more than that policy limit because the defendant doesn't have any money. However, a lot of times we can find additional policies that if you didn't come to us, you would never in a million years know that those policies existed. And we can access those policies. And then in addition, even if we can't access those additional policies, we have the ability to negotiate down those medical bills and reduce so every personal injury case is like a little business. It's like its own little business, right? And so what you want to be able to do with your business, that is your personal injury case, is to maximize the revenue and minimize the expenses. Now, the revenue is how much the insurance company or insurance companies will pay you for your loss. The expenses are going to be how much you have to repay insurance companies or costs or attorneys or whatever, everything that's going to be out of those proceeds. So what we want to do is maximize the revenue and minimize the expenses. And so one of the ways that we can do that is we can negotiate down medical bills. And if a person has, so for example, in an example I just gave you, where a person has in North Carolina, the minimum limits that you have to have on your car when you're driving around is $30,000. Every person has to have $30,000 coverage at least, or it's against the law. Well, if you have a wreck and somebody has $100,000 in damage, and the claim is worth $100,000, but they only have $30,000 in limits. Now we got to satisfy $30,000 worth of bills. Well, so even in that situation where you don't get where you might be tempted to go, hey, I'm not going to get a lawyer. There's not enough money to pay for the bills, much less the lawyer. You still might be better off with a lawyer, because the lawyer might be able to negotiate those medical bills down and put you in a position to be able to put money in your pocket, get your medical bills paid, get your medical bills released so that you don't owe any further medical bills. So those medical bills aren't a lien against you for the rest of your days, and then also pay those legal fees. So it's still, under those circumstances, it many times it's better for you to have a professional, experienced professional personal injury law firm on your side. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us to stay up to date with our weekly episodes. We'll see you next time.